Hi, so in the sweltering 24th of May, I'm here to talk about some equally hot news from yesterday from Blizzard, which is about the 2 changes to artifact knowledge for Legion. Now, I talked about this on my live discussion last night, in fact several times because people were popping on later and asking about it again. But just so that it's all here and all packaged so that everyone can understand what exactly I feel about it, I'm going to talk about it now. So first of all, what are the 2 things that Blizzard have done and why? And then I'm going to talk about why I think it's a great idea, but not for the same reasons that Blizzard do. The first thing is that artifact knowledge had a cap of 50 and they've now reduced that to 40. The upshot of which is that now that we've sort of got our 37 in 2 weeks time, in fact 2 weeks today if you're at the same stage as I am, we're going to be picking up that artifact knowledge 40 and then that's it. The other change they've made, what has happened in Legion so far, is you are able to buy a compendium with order resources, which is battle account bound, so you can send it off to other characters and it will instantly give them artifact knowledge in multiples of 5, as long as it's at least 5 below your artifact knowledge. So when I reached artifact knowledge 30, I was able to buy a 25 tome. When I reached 35, I was able to buy a 30 tome. And you get the idea. So what that would mean is with the cap of 40, the maximum we'd be able to get is an artifact knowledge 35. But the second change they've implemented is they will still allow you to buy a 40 tome. So when you get to artifact knowledge 40, you will also be able to buy a tome for 40 to give to your out. So if you're like me and you've got some outs, you don't really play them that much and you're not really keeping up with the artifact knowledge, to be honest, you might as well not bother anymore. You might as well just leave it. If you're not going to be playing them anyway, or any ones that you're not going to be playing, just leave it. In 2 weeks' time, if you're in my position, you're going to be able to get your own artifact knowledge 40, and then for 1,000 order resources apiece, and I've got loads of order resources, more than I can use, you can just buy those compendia for the different outs, boost them straight to 40, the same as you. Jobs are good and don't waste your time doing otherwise. Obviously, if you're still playing them in the meantime, you've been keeping up, well, just carry on doing it. It's only 500 a time, isn't it? Now, the reason that Blizzard have given is, I'm going to read this out as well. It says, we've realised it would be better to increase base artifact power gains instead of relying on artifact knowledge, which takes time for players to research and can make gains earned in the interim not feel as meaningful. What they're talking about there is you get some people who feel, I'm not going to farm AP now, I'm going to wait till I've got a load of artifact knowledge and then just blast through. 2 problems with that. First of all, they sometimes overestimate their own abilities to go big. And the other thing is, then that means during that time, they can potentially be burning themselves out. That's not doing anyone any good. And they have talked about in the past before about tuning knobs as well, and artifact knowledge just comes under this, doesn't it? You know, it's not something that's taken them by surprise. What they wanted, and they've been clear about this, they want people, when Tomb of Sargeras, the raid comes out, to have like the concordance. They want all the traits filled in. They obviously, some people have done that some time ago and have got several points onto that concordance, but they want everyone to have the base version of it. But they don't want people to be getting lots and lots of points into it. And this is what the artifact knowledge cap does. At the moment, you see, artifact power needed for each trait goes up quite steeply. It's exponential. But we don't see that exponential rise while we're gathering artifact knowledge because that also goes up. So it keeps us on that curve. So you know how it is. You're doing your artifact power, you get a particular trait. Then the next trait, you look at it and think, how much do I need? Oh my God. But that's fine. You're working towards it and then you get your next artifact knowledge and all of a sudden the rest of it goes really easily. As soon as the artifact knowledge cap is reached, you now start to see the exponential nature of collecting more traits. And the difference between the Paragon traits, this concordance that we've got now, as compared to earlier on in Legion, is we've no chance of filling this up. It doesn't matter how hardcore you go on it. You are never completing it. So there's that. The fact that it's not possible to complete is itself a dissuading factor in trying to, because you can't. So it's the point at which how much do you try and get? Well, that's very nebulous. What Blizzard want us to do, specifically with Mythic Plus, because bear in mind, Mythic Plus is ultimately where you're farming your AP. You can farm AP in a number of ways. You can get AP, I should say, from doing raids, but you're only going to get one lockout a week. Obviously, on the different difficulties, you can go do all of them if you want. But if you've done Heroic Nighthold that week, you're not getting any more artifact power by going doing it again. You can do the world quests, but there are only so many world quests. And yes, you can take quite a lot of time doing all of them, like when they keep resetting each day or twice a day. But there's still a limit to what you can get from that source. You can do missions, again, limited. The only thing you're not limited in is Mythics, and specifically Mythic Plus. So you can keep doing Mythic Plus all day and all night, and you keep getting artifact power. Now, Blizzard have made it clear what they want with your Mythic Plus is to push to higher keys, not do lots and lots of comfortable ones. The whole idea of Mythic Plus, when it was announced some time ago, before Legion even came out, was that it is this thing to push yourself in dungeons, to make dungeons genuinely challenging for everyone. But you push higher. The whole idea was push higher and higher. But because it's this source of artifact power, which, remember, you know, people thought at first they might cap the amount of artifact power you can get per week, but Blizzard were quite clear they don't want to do that. So given that you can't do that, this is the source where you differentiate between someone who just gets the bare minimum artifact power like me and someone who really pushes it. But that leads to burnout. Many people have been burned out from Nighthawk. People get burnt out from raiding all the time, by the way, in every expansion. It's not a peculiarly Legion thing. Peculiarly, what a terrible word. Actually, is a better one. But one, and then people have various reasons to do that. But one thing that's cited all over and over and over again during Legion is the AP grind. So Blizzard made the changes with 7.2 to try and dissuade it, and they did a really good job of it. But there's still people really, really pushing it. So I think it's a good thing, not specifically for the reasons I've given. I'm not saying I disagree with the reasons I've given, but for me, what I like about it is we are going to reach that cap sooner. And more specifically, we're going to reach that cap before Tomb of Sargeras. We now have a great chance to not have people burn themselves out on Tomb of Sargeras content, because they will soon see that it's just not going to be worth chasing the AP. The gains are going to be too small for the time you're putting into it. So you might as well not bother. Either work on off-spec stuff, or even when you've got all your off-specs at the same rate, do it on other characters, or even just take it as it comes. Take it as it comes, because the gains you're going to get are too small for the effort to be put in. So that's the sort of behaviour that Blizzard want, and it's sort of behaviour that I would want as well, for people to push to higher keys, but then when they've pushed themselves as far as they're going to get that week, just leave it. That's your Mythic Plus done. If you want to help out a few other people, great. But other than that, leave it alone. Go and do something else. Chill. Don't burn yourself out. So that's essentially what my feelings are on it. That's why I am so supportive of it. That was my initial reasoning. Before I even read Blizzard's reasoning, that was what I liked about it. But as I say, Blizzard's reasoning is also valid. It's just not a concern to me. I will put a post to the link where Blizzard said that. It's on the EU forums. There's another one on the NA forums, the original one, I guess. You can hunt that down yourself. But if you want to see where Blizzard have said this, I will link it down below. Thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for further content. And until next time, I'll see you later.